Here we are at the worldwide headquarters and contact center for the Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts in Toronto. And it's September 2nd, 2011. So I'm here with Andrew Gillespie, who is the Director of Guest Services at the Four Seasons Hotels and Resort in Toronto. And it's September 2nd, 2011. So Andrew, the first question I'd like to ask you is, how or when did you become an expert in social media?
I think it's sort of two ways. So one was on a personal level. As all of the social media channels started coming out, it was something I was naturally interested in.
Why naturally?
Just a really great way to connect with people. And I've always been sort of a tech geek in the first place.
Oh, okay.
And in the places I was working at the time, we were interested in figuring out how to talk to customers on those channels. So the first place I started doing it was at Air Miles, and we started an online community to talk to people that were Air Miles collectors. And so very quickly we learned that while some of the basics about customer support were the same, the way that people wanted to talk in a community in an online place was different than how they would talk in an email or on a phone call.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Air Miles was the first place that you kind of learned about it in a business setting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the work that you've done so far, what have been the biggest surprises for you about social media as it relates to customer service?
Sure. I think one of the big surprises here at Four Seasons is that people that are very high-end luxury customers are just as active in social media, if not more active, than what we originally thought. That was a bit of a surprise. And I think the other piece is we're always surprised that we'll see tweets from people that are in a hotel. So they may be near the front desk, or they might be at a pool. And instead of talking to an employee who might be a couple feet away from them with a question, they will tweet a question to the Twitterverse instead.
So that sounds a little crazy to me. Why are they doing that?
I think it's people's channel of choice. I think in the same way that people chose, a while back to use email instead of calling someone on the phone, this is a new way they communicate with everyone they know. So it doesn't seem crazy to think, even though someone's over there, I'm going to tweet them instead. Certainly for our purposes, we wish they would talk to the people in person sometimes because it's faster, but it's just a new business reality.
Wow. Okay. And what's been the biggest disappointment, do you think, in terms of social media as for customer service?
I think like anything, because people have such a broad audience they can talk to, I think a lot of people on social media use it to talk about only the stuff they're disappointed in. So when they had a really bad customer service experience, and I think that's consistent across a lot of industries. I wish people gave the same airtime when they had a really great customer service experience and let their thousands and millions of Twitter followers know the same thing. I think people do it at a small level, but it still feels like it's a lot of people saying, oh, something was terrible, I need to share with the world.
Rather than when something is good, right?
Yeah, or at least, being honest and providing the balance. So it's like anything, it's human nature to complain really easily and a bit more work to take the time to say when something was really good.
Okay. So when you speak at the London Contact Center Association Conference in October, what are you going to talk to the audience about?
I'm excited to talk to people about how to get started doing customer service and social media. So we've been doing it for a couple of years now and had a lot of great learnings along the way. And as I talk to people in other call centers, it sounds like a lot of people are still at that very early stage of thinking about it or just starting to do it. So I'd love to talk to people about what worked for us and more importantly what didn't, and hopefully help cut out some of those training lessons for people along the way and learn from what we've gone through.
Oh, that's great. So who's doing it really well? Anyone in Canada that's doing it really well, aside from Four Seasons? Aside
from Four Seasons, American Express does a great job. They do some great work with customer support. Best Buy, which isn't just Canada, but has a very large international profile, does some great work both with their store-level people and store-level operations in addition to their corporate work. So those are places that we look to see. Dell also does some great work.
Okay. How about in the U.S.? Who are the superstars there?
Zappos, who are the great examples for everything, obviously do it really, really well. Who else? Samsung does a really good job, and I have to give my hat off to them. They do technical support over Twitter, which I cannot get my head around.
Wow.
Those are
140 characters.
That's just it. That's really complicated work to do in a very short period of time, and they do it really well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
We look forward to hearing you in person in October.
Looking forward to being there.